Hi everyone, it's Eileen from Bates Photography, and I am thrilled to be here with international master photographer Scott Robert Lim, and he's a Sony Artisan. We love our Sony cameras. How are you, Scott? And thank you so much for being here.
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me.
This is wonderful. I mean, you are such an inspiration to so many. Fabulous teacher, educator. I know my husband and I have gained so much information from your classes on Create Live, and wow, this is so fun for us to be talking with you. I think I'm
Well,
starstruck.
that's really nice of you to say that. I mean, quite honestly, I really have a passion to teach and to help other people. I mean, I think that's kind of like where my giftedness is, and so I'm so happy that you're able to learn a few things from my classes, and that's great.
Oh, more than a few things. I mean, just in lighting in general, I mean, you are a photographer who knows light and you teach it well. So,
Good. Yeah, I think because I incorporate a lot of practical experience, when you're shooting on location. I mean, there's a big difference between shooting in a studio and getting all that time to set up your shot versus shooting on location and you know what? Bam. You got 5 minutes, go.
you
Do it,
just you just got to come up with it, wing it, right?
Yeah. So just that training of having to come up with something in 5 minutes has made kind of like really I guess made my teaching where I could efficiently teach someone how to get to how to get a shot within just a few minutes.
And that's been so beneficial for us. We recently have started doing weddings ourselves, and it was nerve wracking, getting out there and just going for it. But all of your advice and all of like what you said, you're gonna, you think you have a half hour, but you got 5 minutes. That really was perfect because once we had that in our heads, it was like, okay, he said this would happen. So,
Yeah, because you would always look at that darn schedule. It goes, oh, yeah, we're going to have 45 minutes. And then pretty soon, no, wait a second. Now we're only having a half an hour. Oh, wait a second. Now it's only 10 minutes. Wait a second. It's only 5 minutes. Ah!
and it just is so scary. But when you know what you're doing and when you know how to get the shot and you're posing, I mean, we learned so much from, I believe you called it the money shots for the posing. It was,
Right,
it was
right.
perfect because that we had to study over and over again just to make sure we knew how to advise people, and oh, amazing. So I wanted to ask you, and I think our viewers would be very interested to know, were you always a photographer, or how did you get started?
I kind of fell into it by desperation.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
you, Yeah, we wanted to start a family, and at the time, my wife was making all the money in the family, and I was just struggling trying to figure out, my place in this world. I was
Sure.
kind of when you're creative, it's really hard to find when you're creative and you can't work a regular 9 to 5 job. That's really hard for you to do. It's, it's really hard for you to find your place, right? So
Absolutely.
I was 37 at the time, and we were getting a little bit older. I was like, hey, listen, we got to start a family. And so what happened was I just told my wife, you know what, just quit your job. We're going to start this family. And I don't care if I have to work 3 jobs. It's your turn. I'll figure something out. So that's what we did is that she quit, and then like, okay, I got to start earning some more money because I was only making $10,000 a year at that time.
Wow.
And all the other business was just, it was growing, but it was just sucking up all this money. Every time we need new equipment or this and that, it's just like you got to pay the employees and all that kind of stuff. So you're continually investing in your company. You don't have any extra money left over for yourself. And
I can
so
relate.
yeah, And so we just said, okay, I just said, let's do it. You quit. And I'm just going to, if I have to work McDonald's and Starbucks and Home Depot, all 3 jobs, don't worry, we're going to do it. And so in this process of trying to figure out what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go, I said, well, maybe I could do some weddings on the weekend, because that could be a way for you to make extra money on the weekends without quitting your job, right?
Right.
And so I practiced for about a year, and then that's when digital was just starting to come out, and I got my first 2 megapixel $600 camera, and I took a bunch of pictures with it. And what's great about that was I could read the EXIF data on the back, so I knew my shutter speed, ISO, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So you couldn't do that with film.
right.
That's so hard to learn with film, because not unless you wrote your settings down, you would not remember what your settings were.
Right.
And so it would be hard to learn. And so I would take a bunch of pictures, and they didn't have internet at that time that well developed, but I could study my EXIF information and realize, oh, I had my shutter too low, or my f-stop wasn't high enough, or my ISO, or whatever, right? So I could learn through digital. And then after a year, I decided to go into business. I sent everybody that I knew an email out saying, hey, I'm starting a wedding photography business. Was it around 2000? One person replied, oh, I may have a friend who's getting married that you might be a great fit for.
That's all you need, right?
Yes, that's all I needed. So I did that one wedding, and she loved it, and she told all her friends. I must have got about 10 weddings from that first wedding.
Wow. That awesome.
Started it.
And
so then I started charging, like my first wedding, I made about $1,000, because I had to shoot it in film too. Because if you could believe it, at that time, if you shot digital, nobody wanted you.
Wow.
You had to shoot film because they didn't trust digital at that time. And so one thing led to another. Instead of making, $10,000 a year, I was making $10,000 a wedding. I was getting flown all over the world, and here I am now.
Amazing. And, it's so funny how you said about, that being a creative person. I'm a musician. I'm an opera singer, and my husband laughs at me that, you've never had a 9-to-5 job. I teach where I can, and I'm auditioning where I can, and I think the photography goes hand in hand with just being a creative individual, because I'm doing it now, and sometimes it's like, oh, wait, I know I have to teach a lesson in a minute, but I want to keep practicing my photography, and I want to keep getting better and stronger. So it's funny that you said that. I mean, I've never had or been able to do the 9-to-5, and my husband kind of makes fun of me for it, but we love together. This has been something we've been able to do and start to do, and he's got kind of a whole different approach. Like, he's more the analytical tech guy, and I kind of have the eye and more the creative, and we become a good team that way. So it's really been something that we've started within this last year, and I'm so excited about it. And people like yourself have just influenced us, and that's why this interview series that we wanted to start on our YouTube channel was really to talk to the people that have changed our lives. I mean, you really have changed our lives, because we went from, can we do this, to taking your courses. Yes, we can. So it's huge. And I wanted to ask you, you have workshops. I saw on your YouTube, you have a wonderful YouTube channel, and I'll put all those links below where people can actually see you in action on your workshops. And I know you're doing so many things other than YouTube. You kind of were on the cutting edge, of shooting Sony, right? You were one of the first. Yeah.
First ones before mirrorless came out.
Wow.
Switched over to Sony, and I just really loved their innovation, because I heard about Sony, why they wanted to get into the digital imaging arena, is that they said, well, Nikon and Canon have covered so much ground. If we do things exactly like them, then there's no reason for us to exist. So they tried to do things quite differently from them, and their whole concept is, if you can get the mechanical things, the less mechanical things that you use, like shutter and mirror, right, the better the technology is going to be, because technology from a digital standpoint grows so much faster than any mechanical type of technology.
Absolutely.
So that's why they're just killing it now. They're outselling Nikon now, and they're 1 point away from Canon. So they're on the verge of being the number one company now, which is great.
Well, we started with our 6300s, then the 6500s, and we are so excited for we just pre-ordered our A9s. What are your thoughts on the
What?
A9?
Nice. A9, you know what? I'm glad they did the A9 actually with 24 megapixels, because I have the A7R2,
Which is
40
fabulous.
megapixels,
Yes.
which is amazing. I mean, I can take a picture, and I can crop out that much and use that as a picture.
And the detail is like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, from that standpoint, it's great. But I'm like, when you're shooting weddings and you got thousands of images and all at 42 megapixels, that's
Your computer his own overlay, right?
So I'm glad they came out with the A9, and they have this longer battery life with it.
Yes. I mean, it's exciting. We had to take a second mortgage on our house for it.
I know. They are quite expensive. That's why
Yes.
I haven't bought one yet. Yeah, they're going to be great cameras.
Well, that's what we figured, and also kind of getting in on it while the technology is so advanced. And, we should be good for a while, for at least a few years, I would hope.
I mean, I can roll with the stuff that I'm using right now for 2 more years. So
Right.
For sure, so.
That makes our investment feel better. I mean, it's not just me, it's me and my husband, so it's like, whoa!
Yeah, I mean, once you go to full frame, then you're good for a while.
This is our first full frame camera, actually, because we've done everything with the 63 and the 65s.
Yeah, you're going to love it because you're going to get a little bit different. Lens choices become easier.
Right.
And it's easier to get wider angles and things. So, and then the bokeh, the depth of field is really nice on that.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
Now, you are mainly teaching now, or are you still doing weddings?
I still do weddings, but maybe a half a dozen a year.
Okay.
Not a lot, and I just do them for friends. And you know what? I mean, maybe I shouldn't be announcing this, but anybody who's really taken one of my international workshops, like my 4-day ones, I just tell those people, listen, I'll shoot your wedding. I don't care. You can, whatever's in your budget, you can pay me. I'll do it.
That is awesome. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, I mean, if they cover my expenses, and if I have to travel, but really, quite honestly, you just pay me what you can afford and I'll shoot it.
Your passion, I mean, that's passion right there, that you love what you do, and it just kind of exudes through your videos that we've seen on Creative Live and on your YouTube channel. I mean, I appreciate that passion. I mean, it emanates through the screen. So I think that speaks a lot to why you're willing to do those, for your workshop attendees, because you really love what you do.
Yeah, and I think, what I'm trying to do, establish what I really love. I mean, there's so many things you can do on the internet, but I'm really trying to establish a close-knit community with all the people that I mentor.
Oh, okay.
And so that's really, it's like, listen, you've helped supported me and with my family by taking my workshops, and so I want to support you in the way that I can. And I think if we all kind of do that together, this world's going to be a better place. And, we can count on each other when situations happen, And so that's what I'm really trying to build, is a community where we really help each other. It's not like a forum where we go on, oh, you have a question about lighting or something and an answer, but deeper than that, about, sharing our lives together as creatives.
I love that. Oh my gosh, well, you have to come to Philadelphia, because you've got 2 with my husband and I, if you come to the Philly area.
Yeah. Are you reached, if you're networked out with a lot of different photographers, if you can help me set up a workshop, and if you know people that want to come, I'll do it.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I know we are going to be...
You know what? I see a little spot on the ground over there. I can just lay down there and sleep there overnight.
Yes! Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome. We are so excited too to be going to Photo Plus in October. Do you go to Photo Plus as well?
Well, guess what? I am going to be speaking. I'm doing a 2-day workshop right before then.
Ooh.
And I think they're in the works, if you do come to my workshop, of getting a free pass to Photo Plus.
Yes.
Which is, I think that's worth like $400 or $600.
Very cool.
Right? I don't know what the pass is, but it's pretty expensive. I mean, I know going to the show is probably cheap, but to actually do all the classes, I think it's costs a bit more.
Wow. So you'll be in New York actually doing some workshops there before it starts.
Right. I'll be going to well, okay, listen to this. If you go to my workshop, you know what? I got to find that. I'm going to find that because it's by invitation. I mean, I think there's only 8 spaces left because they're limiting it to 10 people.
Okay.
Okay, guess what? We're having the workshop at their super duper top level, executive level at the Sony building.
Ooh, okay? I was at the Sony level, but I mean, I was at the building, but on the base level.
Yeah, no. This is at the very top floor.
Nice.
We're having it. You will literally be going into the places that Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson, all the bigwig music people were walking around and having meetings in and things.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna be in those like it's a big conference room.
Okay.
That's why they're limiting it, because you can only hold about 10 people in there. And then we're gonna be, shooting there on the roof, which looks over all Manhattan there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Daniel and Eileen Bates. Remember these names.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can definitely and sign up for that. I think there's only going to be I could get you the email of who to contact.
Yes,
and then the next day, I think we'll probably go to Central Park or something like that and shoot.
We would love to be there. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell my husband.
Yeah, I think they're trying to arrange a free pass, so the PDN. So why not?
Yes. Wow.
I think it's like $5.95, and they're trying to arrange the free pass if they can. So if the pass is worth $400, I mean, come on, that's a slam dunk.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I would first of all love to meet you in person, work with you in person, and I know my husband would as well. So we are definitely going to look into all of that as well, and maybe
send you the email and then you can post it or whatever on this link.
Yes, I will do that because I'm sure we're going to have other people that are going to be super interested in that. That rooftop area, wow, how exclusive is that? That's going to be exciting.
Right.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Now, I have to ask you, you've done so much and your pictures just are phenomenal. They speak for themselves. Do you have a favorite place that you photographed or something, like a photographic goal that you'd like to achieve?
You know what? I do like shooting at different places. You kind of have these bucket travel list places, things that you like doing. And I don't think necessarily, you know what? My career, I feel like, is not about me anymore. My career is about helping others.
You're amazing.
Yeah. So what I love is, let's go into some sort of exotic area and let me help somebody take an amazing portfolio shot for them. That picture would help them get a job or something like that, you know? And of course, I want a nice one too.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. But the fact that you are doing that for us young photographers and we've progressed so much just in a year, my husband and I both. I can see from where we started, and I know that we're going to just keep getting better with classes, taking from amazing photographers like yourself. So, I appreciate that you do want to give back, and you are such a master teacher that when you learn from the best, I mean, man, that makes a difference in your work.
I tell, people want to know how to learn the most, and the most natural thing is to actually, go on Creative Live or whatever, and because there's some amazing resources there. Absolutely. And to watch all those videos and things. I think, that's probably the best bang for your buck is to get those in. But those only take you to a certain level, because where a young person learns the most is when the student and the master enter the same area with the same lighting conditions, the same thing, and understanding how much that master can pull out from that area, because that master is going to see things completely different than the novice. And you're
Absolutely.
going to learn so much from that. Like, wow, I never thought of that. Or look how easy he made that. Like, or just the way, I like the way he talked to the subjects and got them to interact or whatever. And so that rubbing off of, master and teacher, you got to constantly get that rub. And that's how you get to the next level. You can look at, videos all day long, but you're only going to reach here.
Right.
But if you rub up against the master constantly, you're going to get at a world-class level.
It is amazing that you said that. I was fortunate enough with my singing career to work with a professor in New York City, and it took me 6 years, but he finally gave me his card and said, "I'm ready to work with you now."
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
So working with him, I got to a next level, that got me. Right now, my dream is Washington National Opera. I'm on standby for them, but I'm trying to get into the opera company. And, working with that teacher, like you said, when you work with a master teacher, it just, you have to keep up. You have to go to their light, their ability, their level. Otherwise you just drown. So I can't. Oh my gosh, I'm now even tenfold more excited about October working with you. Can you see my giddiness?
Yeah.
I'm very excited. So this is going to be great. I really appreciate you taking the time for this interview. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to keep up with you. Maybe in a couple months, I can touch base with you, see what you're up to and what you're doing.
Definitely. And we should try to plan something for Philadelphia. If you can network out to some photographers and we can plan it. We can get together and plan a shoot there.
That would be incredible. Absolutely.
So, this is actually a little trick I tell people who want to get mentored by me. And it's a very simple concept of you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
I love it. Yep.
What do I do for a living is that I need people to attend my workshops.
Yes.
So if somebody facilitates me being able to help pay for my private school, my 2 kids, and all my enormous bills living in Los Angeles,
sure.
Then guess what? I'm going to reach out and help those who help me. And it's just a very simple concept. So I love people like yourself who kind of see what I can bring to the table. And if they can kind of organize something and gather new faces for me to teach and old faces or whatever, then works out for everybody.
That would be incredible. I would definitely ask around, see what I can do. I know my husband and I haven't really done too many groups yet in this area. Like I know they have like photography meetup groups, but now that the gears are going for that and that I'm going to see you in October, maybe then we could plan
sure.
after Photo Plus bringing you to Philly. That would be
awesome.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Especially if, plan it, 8 months out or whatever, or a year or whatever.
Yeah, it gives me time also to ask, because just even on Facebook, I'm on some Facebook groups with some amazing photographers, and I have to see how many are in this area because Philadelphia, I know we have some amazing talent, just our wedding photographer, a woman by the name of Rebecca Barger. She was an absolute dream. She worked with the Philadelphia Inquirer and just fabulous. So, we have some amazing talent in this area. So I can't wait to reach out and ask about that. So that sounds great. Thank you so much.
You got it.
I really appreciate this interview, and I know our viewers have. And again, thank you so much for all that you do. And we will be linking up. Now that I know about October, we will definitely be seeing you in October.
There you go. All right. Perfect.
And thank you. I know you took time out of your busy schedule for this today, so I am super grateful.
You're welcome.
Have a great day, Scott. Thank you again.
All right. Well, you take care.
You too.